7 a.m. on this Monday morning. Game day. Reaction day. Sixers Game 7 win over the Celtics.
Double
Flyers, unfortunately, Game 1 loss to the Canes, but a double game day. Sixers, Knicks tonight. 8 o'clock tip-off here on the Fanatic. Flyers, Canes, Game 2 over on our sister station, WMMR. We'll be talking about that throughout the course of the show as well. You can continue to be a part of the conversation at 610-632-0975. But one question we had going into the break that we want to expand on a little bit more here is whether or not Joel Embiid changed the narrative or changed the mindset. I don't want to say narrative, changed the mindset of a lot of people. Did he earn more of other people's respect? And I say other people because I can't speak for myself, because you know me. I have a poster of Joel Embiid above my bed. I just don't. I'm
surprised your wife didn't make you get rid of that.
I haven't put that out there to the universe until now. I have like a Joel Embiid stuffed animal that sleeps in bed with us. Like I love Joel Embiid. So
a little strange.
It's not much for me to say I'm proud of him. You're a little bit more critical of Joel Embiid, a little bit more than I am. Just
slightly. But one thing I will always say is that I'm completely fair, because I just will keep it all to the facts, and I am very, very appreciative of what I've seen. And I'll say it is. I look at each thing as its own chapter of the book, and boy, he's written a nice chapter here. We are excited by what we're seeing, and it's great. And it's great.
Well, how much has this chapter changed the book? It's one thing for a good chapter. How much has the chapter changed the book?
Well, the thing is I never had it in my head that he wasn't tough.
Right. A lot of people have, unfortunately.
And to me, I always wrote those people as just being, they were sort of like the dopes.
Yeah.
Because I just think to myself, I would never have the balls to get in the lane or to be in the NBA with a mask on my face, a thin piece of plastic guarding my face after I had broken orbital bones and things like that. Because guys are going to just swing an elbow or something. I wouldn't have had the guts to do that. He came back and did that. He came back here and did this. I've never questioned the toughness. What I do question is the desire to play 82. And I still think that exists, and I will always critique that. I don't think he has that desire. I don't think he pushes hard enough.
Not many people in the NBA these days do.
Yeah, but
fairness.
Yeah, I get you. It's way too little, though, in my opinion. And I do believe that if you voice your opinion that you want to play more, you can play more. And we've seen many stars that do, that voice their opinion that they want to. But Joel Embiid, what I've seen is I've seen a more mature Joel Embiid. I can tell you this, the last 2 playoff series I've seen him play.
Yeah.
The Knicks and the Celtics. Knicks from when they eliminated a few years ago, and the Celtics. Those are the 2 best playoff series I've ever seen him play. So to me, that starts to change the playoff narrative that I've had on him. So to me, I'm always open to change my mind, and I'm always open to have my opinion changed. And Joel Embiid is helping to change that opinion.
Joel Embiid in this Game 7 compared to others. All right, I'll give you the 3 Game 7s before this past Saturday. The first one, the Kawhi shot against Toronto. He wasn't horrible.
No, he was not horrible.
It's just the series probably shouldn't have gone that way if he didn't stay up late with Trevor Noah and then get the poops.
And you're hanging out with Trevor Noah, which to me then counts against you.
He plays 45 minutes, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. Like he played pretty well. He was 1 of 6 from 3. That was probably the killer for them. Also had 10 rebounds. Great. Then there was the Hawks series.
Well, don't even get me started. 6 and 7. The turnovers.
So he has
what was unacceptable.
31 points, 11 rebounds, 3 dimes, a steal, a block, 2 of 5 from 3, 7 of 10 from the free throw line. You're thinking, man, he had a hell of a game. 8 turnovers that game.
And Game 6, I think he had another.
It was another bad performance.
Game 6 and Game 7. The Hawks series, the Celtics series. Game 6, Game 7. And Game 6 against the Celtics is unforgivable. Him and Harden.
The last 5 minutes.
And then Game 7, they shouldn't even have gone.
Game 7 against Boston, that last one.
Yep.
15 points, 8 rebounds. I don't even remember him scoring 15 points because I thought he didn't even show up.
They mailed it in
to the arena that night. It was bad. It
was Mother's Day massacre. I had my cancer surgery the next day, so I was home. I was home doing the cleanse because I had to be cleansed out. So my wife had to go out for like Mother's Day with my daughter without me. I'm sitting there and I'm watching that and I'm like, okay, this can't get any worse.
Yeah.
This cannot get any worse.
You probably enjoyed drinking the cleansing more than watching the Sixers
that Gatorade
game.
with the diarrhea medicine.
My
yeah,
God.
fun. Just fun.
And then there's the last Saturday. Joel Embiid, 39 minutes, 34 points, 12 boards, 6 assists. At one point, you think he's getting a triple-double. I think he had 6 assists in like the second quarter.
He was cruising along.
I mean, it was unbelievable. 12 of 26 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. It was a big three-pointer that he hit. The only thing that I didn't like is he hit it, and I think he had a heat check moment and missed the next 2. And I was like, all right, dude, stop. You hit the 1 because you were literally wide open. The other 2, let's stop
Yeah, you start feeling it a little too much. But I felt it for him. I think the Sixers, though, shot themselves into letting the Celtics back in that game.
Yeah,
they went through a 7-8 minute stretch where they just were chucking up threes where they didn't need to.
Yeah,
and
momentum swings, man.
And they also were shooting they were taking shots, 13 seconds left on the shot clock, 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Every possession matters when you're up big, and they let them back in that game by not managing the clock. I thought it was that Falcons Patriots Super Bowl where they were snapping the ball with 13 seconds to go, 14 seconds to go instead of bleeding clock. It was just stupid on their part. They did not manage the clock well at all.
Tyrese Maxey, who you'll hear from in a second here, and then we'll get more responses to has your opinion of Joel Embiid changed? Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, this per ESPN Saturday night, Johnny. Do you know they're just the third duo in NBA history to each have 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in a Game 7. The other duos, Elgin Baylor with Jerry West, Elgin Baylor with Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, so before I was born.
Pretty good company to be a part of.
That tells you something right there. That's great.
Now, maybe some of the other greats didn't get to Game 7s.
Well, that could be too.
But
that could be too.
That's impressive company to be with. Here was Tyrese Maxey after the game. You already heard it in the beginning of the show if you joined us in like a longer form. But Tyrese Maxey, we shortened it, a specific message that he has to a lot of people in Philadelphia.
When you think about the history of Game 7s, the history against Boston, and Joel, he had surgery less than a month ago. Yeah. What's it mean to have him on this floor, and how did he put his body on the line for the team?
It means everything. It means everything. For him to do that for us and his team, man, like, all we can do is appreciate him. He's been doing it all year, all his career, really. And, the city of Philadelphia should really, really not take him for granted. And much love the process.
Don't take Joel Embiid for granted. I mean, his talent is unbelievable and it's undeniable. Now, John,
it is absolutely undeniable.
As much as I like to, look the other way, I can admit, I'm man enough to admit there are a lot of times where Joel Embiid has brought a lot of the stuff upon himself.
Well, remember, as Tyrese Maxey delivers that message, it's also Tyrese Maxey that had to have, during the players-only meeting, had to call out Joel Embiid just a little over a year ago. But credit to Joel Embiid for taking the correction, working with it, not being bitch boy about it, and
demanding a trade,
and being a great teammate. And by the way, loving the guy who called him out in a team meeting, loving on him as like a great teammate. It's awesome. It tells you everything you need to know about Joel. Is that Joel learned from it?
Yeah.
Look, we all at times in life need a little wake up call.
Absolutely, you're right.
And when you listen to the wake up calls and you learn from them and everything like that, it just makes us all better, and it's great. And I love it. And I think he's having a hell of a lot of fun. Joel looks like he's having a lot of fun, and who couldn't play with those kids that are just so
I keep
so
on
inspiring.
Going back to that night one, the smile that Embiid had, and night one like regular season. So we're going way back here. When Embiid had that smile for VJ Edgecombe, who had a great game in his debut.
You made a big deal about that night, and I'm going. And at the time, I'm going, okay.
Because I'm not used to it.
I get you.
I'm not used to seeing Joel Embiid smile for other people.
Well,
right?
he did.
Not that he doesn't care. It's the teams over the years. There have been a lot of dark times, man. A lot of dark times.
It was.
And he saw this rookie that we were all really excited about, and we loved the person. But a lot of people weren't watching Baylor basketball in the city of Philadelphia. So that was our first chance to really see him. And when he had the night that he had, Embiid was the first one to greet him off the bench. I was like, wow, that's special. And look at where we're at now. We're about to begin a second-round series after slaying the Boston Celtics, being down 3-1, coming back, winning in 7 against the odds-on favorite to make it to the NBA Finals. What do we have on the Davis Honda text line? You can feel the Davis difference by checking them out in Burlington.
Steve checks in here and says, it cracks me up that there are Celtics fans out there who now think the Celtics were overrated and not that good. Grow up. You guys choked.
Yeah, I saw somebody, Greeny. Did you see what Mike Greenberg had to say?
What was Greeny doing? What did his scriptwriter write for him?
It was on Twitter.
I didn't see it. You follow Greeny?
No, somebody, Kevin Nagandi may have quote tweeted or somebody. I was going to say, if
you follow Greeny, I'm unfollowing you.
No, I don't.
I'm going to unfollow you.
And, it's nothing wrong with Greeny.
Well, yeah, listen to you. Listen to you pandering.
With my ESPN ties.
Listen to you pander.
There's nothing wrong.
Oh, my God, what a panderer.
So much respect for the way the Celtics approached the entire season.
Oh, come on.
Never gave an inch. Jaylen Brown MVP level. Jason Tatum come back fast. It ends well before they wanted, but they did it right this year.
Did he really? When did he put that out?
After they lost.
Like Saturday night?
Yeah, 10 p.m.
Seriously, what time did the dry cleaning have to be picked up, Mike? My gosh. Are you serious?
They blew a 3-1
Saturday night
lead.
He sent that out?
They blew a 3-1 lead.
Saturday night.
To a 7th seed.
To a 7th seed.
Yeah,
Are you
kidding me? Mike.
In the first round of the playoffs.
Mike, what did you get their dry cleaning? Did you make their dinner reservations for them? What pandering? Oh my gosh. That is terrible. I know how I missed it because I don't follow Greeny.
There you go.
I always enjoyed meeting Greeny again for the first time.
Popped up on my For You tab.
Oh, my gosh. You're out of your mind. That's crazy. A 3-1 lead? You blow a 3-1 lead and you're getting flowers?
Yeah. A lot.
What would a Philadelphia team get?
They would be the lead on SportsCenter.
Blowing a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. It's Joel Embiid again.
Give me a break. My gosh, that's terrible.
What else we got?
This texter checks in and says, Brown talking about flopping, who pushes off more than him. Yet ask him, and he never does it.
All right, so I'm glad that you brought that back up because I was looking at our YouTube comments after we had that conversation about Jaylen Brown. There are times in life where you think you're the only person that said something or noticed something or thought something, right?
Right.
And then it's a big world, so
you never are.
So yeah, somebody else has said. I've had a theory before. I may have been high having this theory that every word that you say, there is somebody else in the world saying the exact same word that you're saying.
There are people who believe they created the field of 64.
That's true.
I mean,
I'm looking at our YouTube chat, and Draco Medina says Reggie Miller made it seem like Embiid threw Brown to the ground, and then Michael responds to Draco saying Reggie was going hard until he saw the replay. I'm glad that at least 2 other people caught this. When Jaylen Brown flopped, even though he's complaining about Embiid being a flopper and how flopping's ruined the league, hello, Pot, Jaylen Brown flops. And they only had one angle. And here's Reggie Miller going, Embiid better be careful. Embiid, he's going to get teed up. And Iron Eagle's son, Noah, who does a good job.
I think he does a really good job.
I got to give him credit. I thought he got handed a job. He's actually doing pretty good.
He does a really good job.
Noah Eagle's doing the whole, oh my God, it's a tragedy. He just threw Joel Embiid, or he just threw Jaylen Brown, blah, blah, blah. Then they show the replay from a different angle, and there's no contact. They didn't say anything. It wasn't, oh wow, we misspoke. They said nothing. It was, oh crap, we screwed up, and we're just gonna. And then finally, one of them was like, yeah, Jaylen Brown may have embellished a little bit there. You think?
I certainly don't think that broadcast was biased.
I'm not normally that guy.
I do not think that broadcast was biased at all.
Early on, it was.
Now, I do think that there was a bias as far as the. I do think that there was a little bit of bias as far as there was things where I was saying with the officiating that I was asking, going, wait a minute here, come on now, don't be. But overall, I think they were definitely giving a lot of flowers to the Sixers on that broadcast. There were plenty of flowers being thrown. VJ Edgecombe was absolutely getting.
He got
a ton of flowers. Tyrese Maxey got a ton of flowers. So I certainly don't think there was any bias against the Sixers on that broadcast.
When Boston went on that run, it was very.
No, you could hear it. No, because they wanted a game.
Yeah,
you want it to be a tight game. It was a sleepwalk of a game. But I think that Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe were getting a lot of love.
Yeah, they're not going to be flopping at all either. But the one thing that's funny about this flopping conversation is in just over 12 hours, we're all going to hate Jalen Brunson's guts. No,
I already do because I'm not a Villanova fan, so I already dislike him.
Right. So we're going to root against him.
We're going to root against him.
We root against him 365.
Yeah.
Even though we can admire him as a player.
There's a lot of frauds around this area that are going to be like, yeah, but Jalen and Josh Hart.
Yeah, there are guys. It's a Philly team. No, it's not. It's a Delco team.
And they're going to try to beat the Sixers like they already have. He annoys the hell out of me. Like, look, he's a very good player. But he's like worse than Trae Young was. Like just the way he foul baits. It's crazy. Now look, Embiid does it too. So
Right.
But he's ours, so I love him for it. Whereas I hate Jalen Brunson for doing it.
It's just going to be a great narrative shift in the next 13 hours between now and the start of game one.
Absolutely.
Which is fine. Defend your guys.
All right, what else we got on the text line?
All right, we also have a check-in here. This texter says, something changed in Game 5 of that series. It was visibly noticeable. Unexpectedly, Paul George on defense set the tone, and the team followed, even Embiid. Incredible.
Paul George, this is one of these stories that I'm really going to be interested in moving forward. That Game 6, we talked about it Friday morning, Johnny. Paul George has had such I don't even want to say strange relationship. He has had no relationship with the city of Philadelphia.
Not at all.
Not knowing when the NFC Championship game was happening and like being shocked that when the Eagles won that people would flood the streets and now he's stuck in traffic. And then when you brought it up on Friday, when he gets suspended and comes back, that first night, the Chicago Bulls game, the knockout
night. And we were there.
And Embiid comes back that night, too. They announce Embiid's. And look, there's got to be exhaustion with Joel Embiid for a lot of people. But Embiid still gets the crowd pop. Embiid still gets he's back. The process is back. When Paul George got announced by Matt Cord, it was
when he was he was coming into the game. He was being inserted into the game, so it was his own little moment.
There weren't even boos, right? It was
just indifference.
It was silence. But after Game 6 or during Game 6, the last minute or two, when Nick Nurse, because they were winning that game handily, when Nick Nurse pulled the starters off the bench or off the court, Paul George came out during his own time, and Sixers fans gave him a standing ovation, deservedly so. Paul George, other than Game 1 of this series, has been a big part of this Sixers team. And it'll be interesting to see how this city... We're talking about how your narrative may have changed with Joel Embiid. There was no narrative with Paul George other than people not wanting him here to begin with.
It was just indifference.
Yeah.
And to me, again, being part of that series helps. Go beat the Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
Paul George. And again, give me the defensive effort that I've seen out of Paul George. And it's effort. And I use the word effort. Give me the defensive effort I saw. And you can change the narrative forever. Paul George can be where someone could say, okay, now I sort of see what the vision was to bring Paul George here.
He's got a tough series ahead of him, man.
Just going to say, he's the most important defender on this team.
Dude, him and OG Anunoby.
So you think it's the most?
Not even close.
Okay, expound just a little on why you say the most.
They've got 5,000 wings.
Yeah.
And they're going to do all kinds of different rotations.
Yeah, it's
got to be him.
This series is going to be interesting. You're going to hear from a former Knick who is on ESPN nowadays coming up in the next segment because he doesn't really love the matchup for the Knicks against the Sixers. This is a definitely different matchup than the Celtics. As good as the Celtics are, there's not much athleticism. Believe it or not, the six white guys
and Boston loves it that way.
The six white guys that they have do not really bring the athleticism. They have the dagger three mentality, and when their threes aren't falling, they don't have a second game. The Knicks have a lot.
What about all the white guys the other night for Boston?
You know, that's
I'm saying.
Right.
It's like I put the game. You put the game on. You're flipping around. I said I thought it was a Phillies doubleheader.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, it looked like a Phillies game broke out.
But
I mean, it's unbelievable.
They don't have another game. Right, like it's hit the three or it's the pump and floater drive. Whereas the Knicks have many different ways to score the basketball. Different. So we'll see how that plays out. So coming up next, you'll hear from a former Knick, Iman Shumpert, who is, by the way, and this has nothing to do with my ties, is doing a great job at ESPN. I had the chance to interview him a couple times last year. I was like, wow, this guy's really good. And now he's starting to rise up through the ranks at
Shump knows
network a
ball.
little bit. So Iman Shumpert, former Knick, now member of ESPN, does not like that the Knicks got the Sixers. That's nice to hear for a change. It's Kincaid and Sal Chunas. You'll hear that next here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Sal Chunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, so we still have a lot going on the show today. It's been a lot of us and a lot of you at 610-632-0975. But we have Tom McGinnis, the voice of the Philadelphia 76ers, coming up at 8:30 because we get to preview a series and also celebrate a series. Sixers beat the Celtics Saturday night, and now they begin a series with the Knicks in New York tonight. Tom McGinnis will be on the call here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tony Jones, who covers the Sixers, will join us at 9:05. And if you guys remember, and if you don't, we'll fill you in, Tony was with us right before the series started, and he said, keep an eye on Game 4 for the return of Joel Embiid, when everybody in the national media was saying Game 3.
And everybody went, woo.
And
Okay.
Tony said Game 4, and he came back Game 4, and it was ugly. And that's why we all
quite ugly.
We all thought they were dead because it was a 3-1 series, and it looked horrible. They lost by 32 points for the second time in the series. And then all hell broke loose. Johnny and the Sixers come all the way back and win this series and take out the Boston Celtics. So hit us with a text because we're celebrating, but we're also about to turn the page a bit because we have to start looking ahead. Game 1's tonight. Like, I would love to just bask in the glory of Game 7.
No. We got to be ready.
That was just the first round. We have round 2 starting tonight. What do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington.
Colby in Central PA checks in, says, I love a good underdog story. The Sixers refused to give up and played relentless defense. Saturday night gave me a smile from ear to ear. Let's go, winner teams, and play that song.
Play it, please. Thank you. Haven't heard enough.
You think that, though, Saturday night, did you go into that feeling that they were that much of an underdog?
No, I felt good going into Saturday night, but going into the series, going into
the series, absolutely down 3-1, absolutely. But going into Saturday night, especially when you got the Tatum news.
Yeah, they weren't a basketball underdog. They were a universe underdog.
A Philadelphia 76ers underdog.
Yeah,
well,
all logic and history underdog.
Well, the thing is then and I say it, is for those of you who were raised by Negadelphians.
Yes.
It was in your head.
That was my dad.
It was in your head. And I was raised by a
love you, Dad.
I was raised by a Negadelphian, but I refused to fall into that trap. And I didn't raise a Negadelphian. I raised a daughter who was optimistic. Mm-hmm. So it was like, okay, be optimistic about it. And she, but it's funny is it skips a generation because she'll go, Dad, you really think they're going to beat Boston in Boston? I'm like, not necessarily.
I heard 0%.
But I'm going to go in and I'm going to believe. Yeah, I'm going to go in with all my heart.
I thought they had no shot. I thought they were losing in 4. Like, I don't run from it. Like,
no, you don't.
And I thought it was 5. And I thought, look, I did said it flat out. I thought it was 5.
And they, and it looked like it was
so
happening.
much fun.
After Game 4, they were dead. Like, seriously, think about that for a second. After Game 4, and B comes back, you're thinking, all right, Game 3, they played so well and unfortunately lost. But, man, you know what? They probably knew that. I would imagine they knew that he was coming back Game 4. Just a guess, right? The players probably knew that.
And if they had stolen Game 3,
right?
Oh my gosh.
So maybe they went into Game 3. All right, we got the home court has our back, and we know the big man's coming up back Game 4. Let's take this one, and then we could maybe take a 3-1 series lead. They fight so hard, and they unfortunately lose. And then you're going, all right, but the big man's back. You could tie the series tonight going into Game 5 to Boston. And it was horrific.
It was horrific.
It was
it was really bad.
It was one of the worst games we've watched.
Awful. Like a dreadful game.
And they're down 3-1 going back to Boston. You're thinking, there's no shot.
You ain't dead till you're dead.
And they win the next 2, and then Game 7. Man.
Yeah, you got to believe.
Unbelievable.
Got to believe.
All right. Now, Knicks starts tonight.
Yes.
Iman Shumpert, former Knick, now member of ESPN. Which show was this? Do we know? It was NBA Live?
I believe it was on SportsCenter.
Or on SportsCenter. This was Iman Shumpert talking about this upcoming series from the Knicks' perspective.
it's an interesting series. The two teams that I didn't want the New York Knicks to run into, if you ask me, it is Philly. It's a bad matchup for them. And the other one for me was Detroit, just because Detroit seems to have had their number and also seems like they want to play the Knicks so bad. So I already had them marked off the list. It's always a battle with New York and Philly. But the matchup of Joel Embiid coming back and playing the way he's playing, I mean, the guy was doing push-ups after a made field goal. That's only a good sign for the fans in Philadelphia. But having Joel Embiid in those moments, it lets you know he's feeling healthy. Anytime he's talking to the crowd, he's jawing back and forth with players. He's flailing the arms. He's celebrating. He's telling the crowd to be quiet. He's telling the Philly crowd to get loud. Anytime he's doing that, not only is he fun to watch, he is fun to play with. And you're watching the Philadelphia Sixers benefit off of that. When I look at that and I preview that into seeing the Knicks, I just wonder, does Cat's magic really come and combat that of Joel Embiid, especially when it comes down to the end of games and end of quarters, trying to outscore Joel Embiid that can also look across the court and see a Tyrese Maxey ready to do the same thing?
Yeah. And we know that Joel Embiid has had his way with Karl Anthony Towns over his career. It's not Cat that I worry about with New York. It's Jalen Brunson, and it's the ragtag group of guys that find like Josh Hart having 75 offensive rebounds in a game. Like I don't need to see that kind of stuff. But it's interesting. He looks at it as a bad matchup for New York. Now, I think this is a totally different series. Again, Boston
what do you think? What is the biggest thing you think is different than the last time?
The athleticism on the wings for New York, there's so much more. Like Boston, it was don't let them kill you with the three. And the length that the Sixers have, it really benefited them that they played that style. Whereas New York can drive. They play like an old school style of basketball.
Okay.
Right? Physical style of basketball. So Tyrese Maxey, who's not the greatest defender in the world. Good thing is you have VJ Edgecombe, who could probably take on Brunson. But, does Tyrese Maxey get exposed a little bit defensively in this series? Paul George was great. Now you're going to have multiple Paul George nights defensively against OG Anunoby. Joel Embiid, it's going to be a much more physical series. Like, Kata's 150 pounds soaking wet for Boston, and Nikola Vucevic is barely moving anymore. Mitchell Robinson's a physical freak when he comes off the bench. So there's some interesting matchups, a little bit different than Boston.
Do you not think that the Sixers are much more equipped this series to play defense than they were 2 years ago?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Here's some numbers on VJ Edgecombe real quick via tip-off. This is per 75 possessions from this season when Jalen Brunson is primarily guarded by VJ Edgecombe. 106 possessions, 13.4 points, 4.9 assists, 2.1 turnovers, 38.2% true shooting.
Yeah, remember
VJ
early on, the Sixers beat the Knicks the first two games in New York this year. Right? That was this season.
They did. Yeah.
It's been a long year, but the first two games that were in New York, the Sixers went on the road and beat the Knicks both times. They can do it. And that leads us to our next question. How much has everything changed for you? We have the poll of the day going. Dr. Avidan Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health, 4 hours strong every single morning. And now we have a question of expectations. What do we got, Connor?
So our question here is, are you expecting a Sixers series win over the Knicks? It's getting a little bit tighter. 54% saying yes, 46% saying no.
Is it? So let me ask you this as far as the first couple wins. So the first two times Sixers go to MSG this year, they win.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody arguing with me that the Sixers are a better team now in May than they were then?
No.
So doesn't that give you a little confidence right there?
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, that's I think would be a lot of confidence, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel so much better about this series than Boston.
Okay.
I got to see the Sixers actually win games, but Joel Embiid being back, I feel pretty good about this series.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing there is there are a lot of Sixers fans that never even let themselves consider matching up with the Knicks. Never even thought about this team in the second round. So it's just I don't know what to make of this because I'm shocked we're here. And Game 7 was 2 days ago.
Right.
So it's a quick turnaround to evaluate how they match up. I think the Sixers have a great chance. But I don't think a lot of this fan base was prepared to answer that question even just a couple days ago.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, we're talking about more basketball that nobody thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to play 7 games. They played 3 more games in the first round series than I expected.
And now you're talking about another 2 weeks of Sixers basketball. If you think this series is going 6 games, we got another 2 weeks of waking up here on Kincaid and Salchunas talking about Sixers basketball.
Hell yeah, we do, man.
That is a blessing from the skies.
Yeah.
Because we're selfish bastards.
Damn right we are.
We want the content.
Sixers in New York on December 19th. They win 116-107. Sixers in New York a couple weeks later, January 3rd, 130-119. Both wins for the Sixers on the road in New York. Just like early on in the season. And like you said, they look even better now.
The Sixers are a better team today. So to me, that's like, okay, Sixers are better.
Yeah.
That makes me smile.
Damn right. It should. All right, coming up next, we will do today's headlines with Connor Thomas. You'll hear the montage early on in the 8 o'clock hour because now we're doing the balancing act. Celebrating because we don't want that to get lost, right? The Sixers won Game 7 in Boston. They won 3 straight games. They won 3 games on the road in Boston in this series.
No, they did. They couldn't.
They did. It's unbelievable.
They couldn't have.
But, of course, they have a series tonight, and we also have the Flyers. Flyers lose Game 1. Game 2 is tonight in Carolina. 7 o'clock puck drop over on WMMR. They need to bounce back quickly. You don't want to go down 2-0 to this team. Today's headlines with Connor Thomas. That comes your way next. It is Kincaid and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is 7:47 here on Kincaid and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We have today's headlines with Connor Thomas coming up momentarily. But during the commercial break, I was talking to John. I was like, when's the NFL schedule? Do we have a date coming out just yet?
Yeah, it's going to be potentially delayed by a week. It was supposed to come out 12th or the 13th were the target dates. Now it looks like it might be the 19th or the 20th.
Now, you want to know why it may be delayed? And this is really freaking annoying.
What?
So I'm reading an article from Mike Florio. He posted it late, like last night. So if you're waking up this morning, maybe it's the first time you're checking it out.
Right.
Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts. There's the international games. They're all over the place now. One of the
guys... They know the dates of those games, though. It's crazy.
Right, but then it's what do you do the next week and all that
right.
stuff. John Breach, who he spoke to with CBS Sports, he's the NFL VP of Broadcast Planning. How about that? Breach was talking about how, you have to wait till after the draft because what if there's a big trade or what if there's a big surprise and we're going to want to put this team on primetime. How about another wild card that Mike Florio's mentioning?
I can't imagine there's what wild card is there?
Does Aaron Rodgers decide he wants to play or not?
Stop.
Because if he decides to return to the Steelers for another season, Pittsburgh becomes a more attractive candidate for primetime games.
To do
if
what?
If Rodgers doesn't return, the Steelers have less sizzle. There is no sizzle with the Pittsburgh Steelers with or without Aaron Rodgers.
Seriously, sizzle with the Steelers?
Have some respect for Drew Aller.
There's no sizzle. No, he stinks too.
No, that's what they don't want Drew Aller.
Like I get it, Penn State.
They really don't want Drew Aller.
Like what sizzle is there with Pittsburgh other than just the history? Right? Like, other than the history.
Pittsburgh's a big draw on national TV.
I'm sure there is.
They are a big draw on national TV. Look, we get Giant games on national TV.
I know.
Because it's New York,
If Aaron Rodgers is the reason why this gets delayed a week.
Man, Mr. Peyote or whatever he is.
Yeah. Mr.
Hiawatha.
Mr. Me guy. It only continues to go that way,
Such
apparently.
a jerk.
All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Not Connor.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
Easy over there. I'll call Lundy Law on you, who bring us today's headlines. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Fellas, there must have been something in the water this weekend when it came to Game 7s, because we saw a lot of rewriting of scripts, not just the Sixers taking down the Celtics in a 3-1 comeback, but You had Tobias Harris in a Game 7, giving 30 and 9 to the Detroit Pistons. And James Harden, a team with him, won a Game 7 as well. The Cavs moving on. What are you guys' thoughts on the former Sixers?
I got to my Cavs Tobias because I strongly dislike that man.
He set records for the Pistons organization, which has great history. He had a great playoff series.
Yeah.
And
Early on when they were losing, he was very typical Tobias, coming up strong in the first half and then doing nothing in the second half, missing open threes. Game 6 and 7, he was so good for them. Cade Cunningham was still the leading scorer, but you need a Robin. And the fact that Tobias dropped 30 yesterday, tip of the cap, see you in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Maybe. Or maybe we'll see James Harden.
Could be.
Harden, on the other hand, did not play well in Game 7.
18 and 6 for him.
Shockingly, but they still won the basketball.
Now let's go on to a game where everybody played well, besides the goalies, I guess. Did you see what happened in the Minnesota-Colorado game last night?
God.
Oh, my God.
You missed a series worth of goals in one night. Here's how it sounded on Sportsnet.
Time. Gets it back to the blue line. Here's McCarr. Shooting and scoring! Second of the night for Cale McCarr. And once again, Colorado up by 2.
That was for Colorado to go up 8-6. They would add one more before it was over. 9-6 the final. Could we handle a playoff game like that?
No, we couldn't. You know what's crazy? McCarr, that you just played that one, had his second goal in a game with 15 goals, right? 15 goals. We don't see that often. He's the only guy that had more than one.
That's why we played it.
So Minnesota had 6 goal scorers. Colorado had 7 goal scorers. One guy had 2. Like, it's unbelievable, that kind of a night.
Yeah, man, that was I'd like to say a special game, but it depends which side you were on because my brother wasn't happy as a Minnesota sports fan. This was something special to experience.
Does he care about the Wild?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Really?
Do you care about the Flyers?
Yes.
Then yes.
I don't hear him talking about the Wild ever.
Do you chat with him? You see him once a year. Something we also only see once a year is the Kentucky Derby, the 152nd running, and what a finish we had.
As they come to the last 16th of a mile, Denon Bourbon in front, both selling a huge long shot. Renegade and Golden Tempo are closing too. Here's Golden Tempo! Golden Tempo! And Cherie DeVaux make history in the Kentucky Derby.
Credit to Cherie DeVaux, the trainer, the first female trainer to train a horse to win the Kentucky Derby and go and last the first in that short period of time. That was special.
None of us won. You were the closest. Chief Wildby was 4th. I don't know where everybody else finished because there's no website that shows you all of the finishers. They only show you the top 4 or 5.
I'm sure you could find it somewhere.
I'm trying. I've been looking everywhere because I want to know where So Happy finished.
You got to step up your horse game.
Because that was my guy.
Did not finish it first.
So Happy did not win it for me. It was devastating.
Did you guys get any juice out of that watching it? Because it was the lead into the Sixers game. So I'm imagining every Sixers fan saw it.
I have no ties to horse racing at all, except for when Smarty Jones was in it. Right, because it was a Philadelphia story. But other than that, like, honestly, I didn't watch. I was
not at all.
We were out to dinner before the Sixers game started. Me, Christine, Coop, and it was on. And Coop's going, look, the horsies, and I keep on turning around. They haven't started yet.
It's going on forever.
I then eat my food, and then I turn around and the race was over. I don't care.
You gotta have better court vision, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I wouldn't care even if it was happening.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I probably would still
I'm not going to pretend that I would. Like, you know, people pretend like they're big fans of it.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Yeah, I got in trouble at the bar because I was yelling, get all the horse people out of the bar before Game 7 starts. There are too many people there watching just for the Derby.
By the way,
gear on.
Mike Tirico. Is Mike Tirico being asked to do everything?
Yes.
Was that part of his deal?
Yeah,
Because, by the way, he does everything well.
He does it. He's very
Which
good.
is incredible.
I love Mike Tirico.
Hey, Mike, can you do this? Yeah, I'll pick it up.
He's one of my favorites. He is a true pro.
He's unreal.
There's not many guys that have that much depth to them. McDonough's really good at it. He does multiple sports. We know that Joe Buck, obviously, between football and baseball. It's a shame that we don't get much Joe Buck baseball anymore. I liked him better at baseball than football. But yeah, there's only a couple of guys that can really expand
and
like
seamlessly just step into it and be like,
Sometimes on the same day. It's
That's
crazy.
great.
All right, coming up next, 8 o'clock hour, this first segment, we split it into 2 segments. We celebrate Game 7. We react to Game 1 Flyers. We then preview Game 1 Sixers and preview Game 2 Flyers. You'll hear the montage of Game 7 as well. That all comes your way next. It's going to be a fast 20 minutes. Kincaid and Sal Tunis, 97.5, The Fanatic.